Hey, what's up guys? So I'm on my way to go get my eyebrows microbladed. I am so excited, slightly terrified. I found a really good brow artist and I've been wanting to get this done for like probably 2 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. But yeah, I finally found someone awesome and it got postponed twice because of everything going on. Yeah, today's the day. I'm so excited. I'm gonna tell her I want them very natural. These are my brows without anything in them. I just want them to look just like this, just slightly more enhanced. So let's go. So my brows are done. This is what they look like. She warned me that they were gonna be a lot more red the first couple days. So she did mix 2 colors together. She mixed the ash brown and the blonde, and then she diluted it so that it wasn't gonna be as crazy pigmented. Tonight she just gave me some Aquaphor to put on them. She said they're gonna get really dark and really red, then they're gonna start fading and kind of look like they're not even there at all, and then the color will come back and be the color that it's gonna be. So she said about 9 days. So we are on day 1. This is fresh brows. This is what they look like. So I will keep you posted. Okay, so it's the first day after getting my brows microbladed, and this is what they're looking like. Very red. And then I'm gonna try to zoom in really close, but I feel like I can already see them starting to kind of like crust up a little bit. Don't mind my leftover mascara from yesterday. I feel like right up here you can see it's already starting to kind of like scab and flake, which I wasn't really expecting that for right away. I kind of thought that was going to start happening in like a couple days, but I'm happy with however it heals, whatever process it needs to take. So yeah, they are pretty red right now. It does make me a little bit scared because that's like the main thing I was afraid of. Like, I wasn't afraid of the pain. I wasn't afraid of her technique because I knew she was really good and I knew she would make it look really natural. My only concern was the color because I do not like warm brows on me. I don't like warm anything as far as like hair goes. I like icy, cool toned hair, ashy brows, like that whole thing. So I know it won't be this color in the end, but it does freak me out just a touch. So this is day 1. I think this is probably gonna be the reddest they're gonna be today and tomorrow and the next day. But I need to clean them. So she told me to take a damp cloth and just wash over them with a damp cloth, nothing too wet or anything, and then go in with the size of a half a grain of rice of Aquaphor on a Q-tip. So I'm just gonna show you what I do. I'm just going to just go through them. Just kind of like wiping off dried ooze. And I'm just gonna dot and dot. They are sensitive. I honestly feel like it was not painful at all. It was just uncomfortable. I think the numbing cream hurt more than anything because she did one pass through without anything and I was like, that wasn't that bad. And then she did the numbing cream after so that it could go in deeper into like the surface cuts, and that stung. It felt like, if you ever burnt yourself really bad on the stove, that's what it felt like. And even still, it kind of feels like, ooh, like I burnt my eyebrows. That's more so what that feels like. Oh, here's the lighting. There we go. So here's where we're at. I just wiped them a little bit with a damp cloth, added the Aquaphor, And that's where we are with healing. So today's Tuesday. It is 5 days since I got my brows microbladed. And today I woke up and they were a lot cooler in tone than they have been yet. Yesterday they pretty much looked the same as the day before. They were just a little bit more red. They are still slightly warmer than I would like, but they have cooled down a lot. I believe the scabs are warmer toned, and then once the scabs kind of like fall off, then it looks like nothing, and then the pigment comes back from my understanding. So I think that's kind of where I'm at now, because it is a little bit more spotty. And like up here, I feel like a lot of it has gone away, but I think that will come back. So here we are, day 5. I've gotten a lot of questions on whether they itch or how are they doing. I don't feel any itchiness at all whatsoever. It is only day 5. I'm about halfway through the healing process, so maybe they'll get itchier, like maybe as they scab up more, but there's no itchiness or irritation or anything. The only thing that's annoying is that like I can't just like run my hands through my brows. And anytime I wash my face, I'm just very careful. I wash here, rinse that off, and then I just very lightly wash up here and then wipe it with a washcloth. That's where I'm at. And I think right here they look nice. They look like a really good color. So one thing that she said to me, and I've heard, is that when you have oily skin, they say that it could fade really fast, which I'm okay with. I'd rather it fade faster than not. But the other thing is that when you have oily skin, it could fade kind of like blurry. I do feel like up here, this one here is fading a little bit blurry. So, but we'll see, because if it fades fine and it doesn't blur out, because I do get really oily, if it fades fine, I think when I go back for the touch-up, I'll want more up in the front to give me like a fluffy like bush, and then even like fluffier just throughout, so they just look fluffier. But so far I'm very happy with it. I'm happy with the healing. I don't think it looks too crazy, so that's where I'm at. I am about to leave for my microblading touch-up appointment. It's been exactly 5 weeks since I've had them done. Everybody told me that my brows were eventually just going to disappear, like nothing got done, and I feel like I'm so familiar with my eyebrows. I was like, that's not going to happen, and it happened. So these are my eyebrows 5 weeks after getting them microbladed. It really just doesn't look like anything's in them. So yeah, my skin is pretty oily. So at my last appointment, she told me that because my skin is oily, it could blur the ink, and so she didn't want to put too much up here, because if it blurred and poofed, you don't really want that. You want the more fine strokes, which is how it was over on the tail and everything. But up front, the ones I had did blur because you are more oily. Well, at least I'm more oily up here in the T-zone area. So I'm gonna tell her that today and see what she says and what she thinks. I'm excited, I'm nervous. I really don't wanna go through the whole healing process again. It really is annoying. Just because what I do is like makeup tutorials and stuff. Like I want to fill in my brows and stuff. So anyways, let's go. I'm excited. Okay, so I just got home. I didn't really vlog in there. It's very difficult. I mean, there's a million microblading videos if you're curious to see like the actual procedure. But to me, I feel like the healing process is just more interesting. I don't know. But I wasn't able to have someone come in and film it for me just because of the restrictions. So the last time she did them, she actually mixed the blonde and the ash brown together and then diluted it a little bit just so that it would be a little bit more natural. And then this time, just because they had faded so much, she didn't dilute it at all. So this way, when they fade, it'll still be a little bit more pigmented. And then this time, she also went in and diluted the pigment afterwards and shaded kind of like the outer half of my brow, so it'll be a little bit more dramatic. And then also so that that shading wasn't so pigmented and you could still see the very pigmented strokes. And then it just had a little bit more shape to it with the shading. So I'm just so happy with how they look. This is what they look like up close. Let me zoom in here. This is what they look like up close. So you can see them. Again, they are a little bit more warm and red than they will end up fading to be. And now, having gone through that process, I can trust the process. The other thing too is the color she chose before when she mixed them together. It It ended up being just the slightest touch warmer than my actual brow hair. So this time she just did a little bit more of the ash brown than the blonde, just because the blonde is a little bit warmer. She didn't go just straight in with the ash brown. She still did very similar ratios than she did previously. And then this time too, I'm not working out at all this week. Pull my leg. I'm just very pleased. I will link Kim's information down below if you live in the Chicagoland area. I highly recommend her. She's so thorough, explains explains everything, and she makes you feel very, very comfortable before going in, and you can hold the mirror the whole time, so you can kind of just like look up and check whenever you need to. So she's just awesome, very sweet. I felt very comfortable the whole time. So yeah, I will link her down below, and I'll see you tomorrow. Today is 7 days from when I got my brows touched up. I'm gonna show you what they look like up close. They're really starting to get nice and crusty, especially up here at the front. Do you see how it's kind of just like white and scabby there? And then over here we got like dark little patchy chunks. And there's this side. The color is absolutely perfect. I think this time adding just that little bit of that ashier color more so than the blonde color was perfect, and she just did like the perfect ratio because it just matches perfectly. So I'll keep you guys updated. So far nothing crazy. I've just been trying to not sleep on my face. I'm a face sleeper. I just sleep with my face down. So I have been sleeping on my side, but I put my other hand here to block my head from going in and messing up the tail. So far it's worked. I haven't woken up on my face at all, so that's good. And this time I've been doing less Aquaphor than last time, and I haven't worked out at all, just because I don't want to sweat and I don't want to push out the pigment. And anytime I work out, I sweat a ton. All of my workouts, there's no like chill workout that I do, so it's like, I'm just not gonna work out this week. And then also I've been very, very sparing with the Aquaphor just because I am so oily. So yesterday and today I've actually felt a little normal. I haven't felt like crazy oily, so I did put a little bit more Aquaphor on yesterday and today than I have this whole time. But I think it's working because the stage that my brows are at now seems to be later than it was before, if that makes sense. So I feel like the healing happened a lot quicker last time, and I think it's because the oil was pushing it out. This could all be, I mean, I know the oil pushed it out, but that idea that having less Aquaphor and less sweat is making it take longer, I don't know if that's actually true. That's just my guess, but yeah. I'm so happy with them. I'm actually gonna go out and run some errands. I don't feel weird at all. I think they look fine. I like that she did them a lot more dramatic this time, so I feel like they're filled in, even though they're not. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated later in the week. I haven't been doing every single day updates on this camera, but I've been doing it on Instagram stories. Yeah, so far so good. Today was the first day that they actually looked a little bit different with those like white crusty healing pieces of skin. So yeah, I'll let you know what they look like later on. Okay, so it's day 9. I'm just editing all day, so it's not gonna look like this. I noticed this at the end of last night and then today that they're like really getting flaky. So let me zoom in here. They're getting like not only flaky, but like gunky. Okay, so I did just put on Aquaphor just to see if it would help. I hope you can see it, but like, I feel like anytime I try to take a picture of it or something, you can't really tell, but I can see it in the mirror. Like, it's gross, crusty, but like almost like a soggy crust. I know that's so gross, but that's kind of like what they're looking like. And it was starting to carry up like above the brow. And then I did have a piece down here earlier come off in a chunk. I was thinking that some of this residue was like leftover makeup wipe residue, because all I can really use up and around here is a makeup wipe, so I thought that maybe that was like buildup or something. So I took another makeup wipe and just very carefully and very tediously got right in between the brows, and I went right under here without touching the brow. And when I did that, there was like a big flake. It almost looked like when your skin peels when you get a sunburn. And then when it came off, I could see there was like a dark stroke, which when I went back for my touch-up, Kim asked me if I had any pieces come out that was like straight brown pigment, and I said no because I hadn't at the time. Well, that's what that was. It was so weird. I'm a little nervous that they're not gonna stay. I would say though, this time, like with the touch-up, they look so good all the time. As far as like patchiness goes, like there's not really that much patchiness. Good stuff. Okay, so it's been 3 weeks and 3 days since I got the microblading touch-up. So they are completely healed now. Let me zoom in so you can see what they look like. I feel like they healed a lot, or it took a lot longer for them to heal this time. But here you can see what they look like. I don't have anything in my brows. I'm actually about to fill them in just a little bit, just to give them a little bit more drama, but that's what I wanted. I wanted natural looking eyebrows that I could just leave the house and they would look really natural when I'm not wearing makeup. And I still wanted to have to fill them in because I enjoy doing that. I like a dramatic brow. So it's perfect. The color is perfect. The shape is perfect. The amount that they're filled in is perfect. I'm just really happy with them. The only thing I did different this time with the healing was that I didn't use the Aquaphor every single day. Because I have oily skin, she recommended to use a small amount once a day. I think if you have normal skin or dry skin, it would be to use it twice a day. Even doing it once a day I think was too much. So I did it like every other day or when I felt like it really needed it. Anytime it got a little dry, I would go in with some of the Aquaphor. So yeah, that was my experience. I think if I had to do it all over again, I would, but because of the oily skin that I have now, at least I know what to expect. And I would much rather them fade a lot rather than have them be there permanently or be too dark, or, you know, because what if it turns out not the way you like? You don't want that to be like forever on your face. Overall, I love my results. Make sure to check out Kim. I'll put all of her information down below in the description box. She's on Instagram. You can send her an email. I think that's how she prefers to be contacted for bookings and stuff, but she's amazing, and you gotta check her out if you live in the Chicagoland area, or even if you're like a couple hours out. Like, I would definitely travel to go get a good microblading artist. So, but that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching and following along with my microblading experience. Make sure you check out some of my next upcoming videos and tutorials so you can see how I fill them in and make them a little bit more dramatic, and you can see them see my brows in action. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe and I'll see you soon. Bye.